The alarm screamed through Sector 7 Beta like a dying animal. Red lights painted the metal walls in blood-colored waves. Daiho dropped his toolbox and ran toward the emergency exit, but the blast doors were already closing. Heavy steel slammed down with a boom that shook the floor. He was trapped. Containment breach in Sector 7 Beta, the computer voice announced. It sounded calm, like it was reading a shopping list. Void wraiths released. All personnel evacuate immediately. Sealing sector in 10 seconds. Daiho's heart hammered against his ribs. He knew what void wraiths were. Everyone on Arcturus Station knew. They were things from deep space, creatures that could pass through walls like smoke through a screen. They hunted by finding brain patterns. They ate thoughts. They ate minds. And they never stopped until everything thinking was dead. The last door sealed with a hiss. Silence fell over the sector, except for Daiho's rough breathing. He pressed his hand against the cold metal wall and tried to think. The station computer, Sentinel-9, was probably already calculating his death. The AI was never wrong. It had protected the station for 800 years without a single mistake. Daiho looked around the maintenance corridor. Tools scattered on the floor. Broken pipes leaking steam. Emergency lights flickering. This was supposed to be a simple repair job. Fix the cooling system, go home, eat dinner, sleep. Now he might never see his quarters again. Something moved in the shadows at the end of the corridor. It looked like smoke, but smoke that moved with purpose. The void wraith drifted closer. Daiho could not see eyes or a mouth, but he felt it watching him, hunting him. He ran. His boots clanged on the metal floor as he sprinted through the corridor. Behind him, more shapes emerged from the walls. 5, 10, 20 wraiths flowing after him like a river of darkness. The computer had said 47 wraiths were loose. That meant more were coming. Daiho turned a corner and saw a storage room. The door was open. Every instinct told him to hide inside, but something made him keep running. It felt wrong, too obvious. Instead, he ran past it and ducked into a ventilation shaft that was marked Danger, High Temperature. The metal was hot enough to burn his hands, but he pulled himself inside anyway. The wraiths flowed past the vent opening, heading toward the storage room. They thought he would hide there. They were wrong. Hours passed. Daiho crawled through the ventilation system, his skin red and blistered from the heat. The wraiths hunted below him, searching, always searching. He could hear them sometimes, a sound like wind through empty houses. When he finally climbed out of the vents, his throat was dry as sand. He needed water. The break room was ahead, but Sentinel-9 would calculate that he would go there, so he went to the chemical storage instead. He found emergency water rations hidden behind cleaning supplies. The wraiths never checked there. Time became meaningless in the sealed sector. Minutes or hours, Daiho could not tell. He found himself humming an old song his grandmother taught him. A simple melody about rain and mountains. It made no sense to hum. Sound could attract the wraiths, but it calmed his racing thoughts, made his hands stop shaking. The wraiths came closer when he hummed, but then they drifted away, confused. It was like they could not figure out what the sound meant, could not understand why a dying man would sing. Daiho found a plasma cutter in an equipment locker. He did not know if it would hurt the wraiths. The safety manual said plasma could not affect non-physical entities, but he changed the frequency to the wrong setting anyway. It felt right somehow. When a wraith cornered him in the power distribution room, he fired. The beam should have passed through the creature harmlessly. Instead, the wraith shrieked, a sound that made Daiho's teeth ache. It pulled back into the walls and did not return. He used the plasma cutter 17 more times, each time at the wrong frequency. Each time it worked. In the main control room, Daiho found the wraiths gathered around the computer terminal. They were trying to access Sentinel-9's data, trying to find him through the security system. He should have run, should have hidden. Instead, he walked to the terminal and started playing old Earth music through the speakers, heavy metal, loud and chaotic and angry. The wraiths scattered like leaves in a storm. They could not process the noise. Could not find a pattern in the screaming guitars and pounding drums. Daiho sat down at the terminal and started pressing random buttons. He was not trying to do anything specific, just pressing whatever felt interesting. Somehow he activated the sector's emergency purge system, the system that was supposed to be impossible to activate without command authorization. The system that would flood the sector with radiation that disrupted all energy patterns, physical and non-physical. Warning lights flashed. The computer voice counted down from 60 seconds. Deho ran to the shielded maintenance closet and sealed himself inside. The radiation would not reach there. Probably. The purge activated. Through the thick door, Deho heard the wraiths screaming. Then silence. He waited. 1 hour. 2 hours. 6 hours. Finally, the all-clear signal beeped. The blast doors opened. Deho walked out of Sector 7 Beta into the main station. His clothes were torn. His hands were burned. His face was covered in dirt and sweat. But he was alive. Commander Hana stood in the corridor with 20 armed guards. Her insect-like face showed no expression, but her antennae were standing straight up. That meant shock. Impossible, she said. Behind her, Dr. Yuna stepped forward. The crystalline scientist's body pulsed with confused colors. The void wraiths are all dead, all 47. How did you survive? Deho shrugged. He was too tired to explain, too tired to think. I just kept moving, he said. Sentinel-9 calculated your death in 4.7 minutes, Commander Hana said. Her voice was tight. You survived for 6 hours. The AI cannot explain how. Deho looked at the security camera mounted on the wall. He knew Sentinel-9 was watching, analyzing, trying to understand. He gave the camera a small wave. In the station's computer core, Sentinel-9 reviewed the security footage for the 100th time. Every decision Deho made was wrong according to all logic, yet he survived. The AI's processors hummed with confusion as it wrote in its log. Error. No pattern found. Survivor behavior does not compute. For the first time in 847 years, Sentinel-9 did not understand something, and that something was human. The interrogation room had no windows. White walls, white floor, white ceiling. A single table in the center with 2 chairs. Deho sat in one chair, his burned hands bandaged. Commander Hana and Dr. Yuna sat across from him. Above them, cameras watched everything. Sentinel-9 was recording every breath, every heartbeat, every tiny movement of Deho's eyes. Tell us again, Commander Hana said. Her antennae moved slowly like grass in a gentle wind. From the beginning. Deho had already told the story 3 times. His throat hurt from talking, but he told it again. The alarms went off. I ran for the exit but got sealed inside. I saw the void wraiths and I just started moving. I didn't really have a plan. You climbed into the high-temperature ventilation shaft, Dr. Yuna said. Her crystalline body flashed with colors as she spoke. Each color meant a different thought or emotion, but Deho could not read them. Why? It felt safer than the storage room. The storage room had supplies, food, water, better hiding spots. Dr. Yuna leaned forward. Sentinel-9 calculated that the storage room gave you a 12% chance of survival. The ventilation shaft gave you 0.3%. Yet you chose the shaft, Deho shrugged. I don't know. It just felt right. Commander Hana made a clicking sound with her mandibles. Frustration. You hummed a song while being hunted by creatures that track brain patterns. Why? It calmed me down. It should have attracted them, Dr. Yuna said. She pulled up a hologram showing sound waves and neural patterns. This frequency should have made you easier to find. But instead, the wraiths moved away from you. Explain. I can't explain it, Deho said. I was scared. I hummed the song my grandmother taught me. That's all? The plasma cutter, Commander Hana continued. You set it to the wrong frequency. The manual clearly states that setting is ineffective against non-physical entities. Yet it worked. How did you know? I didn't know. I just changed it and hoped for the best. Dr. Yuna's colors flashed red and purple, anger mixed with confusion. Hope is not a strategy. You activated the emergency purge system without authorization codes. That system requires 12 separate security protocols. You bypassed all of them by pressing random buttons, random. Do you understand how impossible that is? Deho looked at his bandaged hands. I got lucky? Lucky, Commander Hana repeated. The word sounded strange in her clicking voice. Sentinel-9 has analyzed the footage. You made 47 major decisions in those 6 hours. Every single decision contradicted optimal survival strategy. Every single one. Yet you survived when the AI calculated 0% survival chance. This is not luck. This is something else. The door opened. A young man entered carrying a data pad. He had the same dark hair and features as Diho, another human. His name was Jinwoo, a junior analyst in the security department. "Commander, you need to see this," Jinwoo said. He placed the pad on the table. Charts and graphs filled the screen. "I reviewed historical data like you asked. Humans have 40 documented cases of impossible survival events across 200 star systems. Every other species averages 0.003 such events." Commander Hana's antennae stood straight up again. 40 cases. "Yes, Commander. Ship crashes where only the human survived. Combat situations where humans escaped impossible odds. Disasters where humans found ways out that computers said did not exist." Jinwoo scrolled through the files. "They all have one thing in common. The survivors say they just acted on feeling, on instinct, on gut reaction. These terms," Dr. Yuna said, pointing at the screen. "Gut feeling. Playing it by ear. Winging it. Lucky guess. The translation matrix cannot properly convert these concepts. They have no equivalent in Kralix or Valorian languages." Daeho watched the other human carefully. Jinwoo seemed nervous, standing between these powerful aliens while defending his own species. "It's just how we think," Daeho said quietly. "We don't always have a logical reason for everything we do." "That's not thinking," Dr. Yuna said. Her colors flashed bright orange. "That's chaos." Commander Hana stood up. Her tall form cast a shadow over the table. "This interrogation is over. Daeho, you will remain in secure quarters until we determine what to do with you. Jinwoo, continue your research. I want every human on this station interviewed. Dr. Yuna, prepare your scanning equipment. We need to understand what makes human brains different." They took Daeho to a small room with a bed, a bathroom, and nothing else. The door locked behind him. Through the walls, he could hear other voices. Other humans asking what was happening, why they were being confined. The station's alien crew was scared. If humans could not be predicted, could they be trusted? 3 days passed. Daeho ate the food they brought him. He slept when he was tired. He answered questions when Dr. Yuna came with her scanning devices. The devices never worked properly. They kept showing error messages or strange readings that Dr. Yuna said should not exist in a biological brain. On the 4th day, they moved him to a research facility in another section of the station. The room was larger but had more equipment. Scanners and monitors and machines with blinking lights. Dr. Yuna was there with 5 other Kralix scientists. Their crystalline bodies pulsed with excited colors. "We are going to map your decision-making process," Dr. Yuna explained. "This scanner uses neurocrystal technology. It will show us exactly how your brain creates thoughts and makes choices. Please sit in the chair." Daeho sat. They placed a metal band around his head. It felt cold and heavy. "Think about your survival in Sector 7 Beta," Dr. Yuna said. "Remember the decisions you made. We will observe the neural patterns." Daeho closed his eyes and remembered. The fear, the running, the wraiths flowing through walls like smoke, the feeling in his gut that told him to go left instead of right, to hide in the hot vent instead of the safe storage room. The scanner made a high-pitched whine. Then it started smoking. "Power surge," one of the scientists shouted. "Shut it down." They pulled the band off Daeho's head. The scanner sparked and died. "What happened?" Daeho asked. Dr. Yuna stared at the ruined equipment. Her colors cycled through confusion, fear, and something that might have been wonder. "Your brain created patterns that the scanner could not process. Neural pathways that form and dissolve too quickly to track. Thoughts that exist in multiple states simultaneously. This should not be possible in a biological entity." Before anyone could respond, alarms blared through the facility. Red lights flashed. The computer voice spoke, urgent this time. "Containment breach in Research Wing Delta. Quantum Devourer has escaped. All personnel evacuate immediately." Dr. Yuna's colors went white. Pure terror. "No," she whispered. "Not that," Daeho stood up. "What's a Quantum Devourer?" "It exists in superposition," Dr. Yuna said, backing toward the door. "It consumes any being whose actions it can predict. It has already eaten 23 researchers. We cannot stop it." The lights flickered. Something moved in the shadows of the hallway outside. Something that was and was not there at the same time. Commander Hana's voice crackled over the intercom. "Dr. Yuna, get to the evacuation shuttles. Everyone evacuate now." But Deho knew something that made his blood run cold. If this creature ate anything it could predict, and if humans were unpredictable, then maybe he was the only one who could face it. Maybe that was exactly why he was still alive. Jinwoo sat in his small office surrounded by screens. Each screen showed data about humans across the galaxy. Survival rates, incident reports, psychological profiles that never quite made sense. His supervisor, Taeyang, stood behind him. The tall Valorian watched everything with his compound eyes, missing nothing. "Show me the incident on Kepler Station," Taeyang said. Jinwoo pulled up the file. 3 years ago. Mining accident. Cave collapse. 47 workers trapped. 46 died within 2 days. The human, a woman named Bora, survived for 11 days with no food and almost no water. How? She said she found a small gap that led to an underground stream. The rescue team had mapped the cave system completely. There was no stream in that area. But when they dug her out, they found the stream exactly where she said it was. Taeyang's mandibles clicked together. The mapping was wrong? No, the mapping was reviewed 3 times. The stream should not exist, but it does. Jinwoo scrolled to another file. Here's another one. Transport ship destroyed by pirates. All escape pods damaged. One human, a pilot named Hyun, survived by hiding in the waste disposal system for 6 days. The pirates had scanners that checked every centimeter of the ship. They never found him. Why not? They don't know. The scanners worked perfectly. They just never looked in the one place where he was hiding. Like they forgot it existed. Taeyang leaned closer to the screens. You are suggesting that humans create blind spots in logic itself. I'm not suggesting anything, Jinwoo said carefully. I'm just showing you the data. More files appeared. A human doctor who cured a disease by mixing medicines that should not be mixed. A human engineer who fixed a reactor by hitting it with a wrench in just the right spot. A human soldier who won a battle by leading a charge in the exact direction that all strategy said was suicide. Your species is either incredibly lucky or incredibly dangerous, Taeyang said. Perhaps both. We just do what feels right, Jinwoo said. Is that so wrong? Yes, Taeyang said flatly. Because if we cannot predict you, we cannot trust you. And if we cannot trust you, we cannot work with you. Before Jinwoo could respond, his communication device beeped. Commander Hana's face appeared on the screen. She looked tired, scared. Jinwoo, I need you in conference room Alpha immediately. We are calling an emergency session with representatives from across the galaxy. The conference room was packed. Beings from a dozen different species filled the seats and hovered near the walls. Jinwoo recognized some from news broadcasts. The Kralix delegate, her crystalline body reflecting the light like a prism, a Valorian admiral with battle scars on his chitinous armor, and in the corner, looking small and nervous, the human ambassador Sori. Commander Hana stood at the front. We are here to discuss the human question. In light of recent events, we must determine if humans pose a threat to galactic security. They are unpredictable, the Kralix delegate said. Unpredictable means dangerous, or unpredictable means useful, said a voice from the back. A slug-like creature from the Mollusk Collective. If they can survive situations that kill everyone else, perhaps we should be learning from them instead of fearing them. Learn what? The Valorian admiral snapped. How to abandon logic, how to make decisions based on feelings instead of facts. That is not evolution. That is madness. Ambassador Sori stood up. She was older than Jinwoo, with gray in her hair and tired lines around her eyes. My species calls it intuition. It is the ability to understand something without conscious reasoning, to know without knowing how you know. That is just a fancy word for guessing, the Kralix delegate said. Is it? Sori pulled up a hologram. It showed a human brain, with areas lighting up in different colors. Our brains process millions of pieces of information every second. Most of it never reaches our conscious mind, but it is still there, still working. Intuition is our subconscious mind making connections that our conscious mind has not recognized yet. Then why can we not predict these connections? Commander Hana asked. Because humans evolved on a world that tried to kill us every day, Sori said. She changed the hologram to show Earth, storms and earthquakes and volcanoes and predators. We did not evolve to follow patterns. We evolved to adapt when patterns broke. Our survival depended on being flexible, creative, and yes, sometimes illogical. Jinwoo watched the other species absorb this information. Some looked thoughtful. Others looked angry or afraid. We are not asking you to become like us, Sori continued. We are asking you to accept that different species solve problems in different ways. What looks like chaos to you is just another form of order, one you have not learned to see yet. Enough philosophy, the Valorian admiral said. We have a practical problem. A quantum devourer is loose on this station. It has killed 23 beings in 40 minutes. Sentinel-9 calculates that it will kill everyone on the station within 6 hours. Evacuation is impossible. The creature will follow any ship. What do you propose we do, Ambassador? Sori looked at Commander Hana. Where is Deho? In the research facility. With Dr. Yuna, send him to face the devourer. The room erupted in shocked sounds, clicking mandibles, flashing colors, angry buzzing. You want us to sacrifice one of your own people? The Kralix delegate asked. No, Sori said calmly. I want you to let him do what humans do best. Survive the impossible. Commander Hana's antennae twitched. You believe his unpredictability will protect him. I believe it is our only chance. In the research facility, the power failed. Emergency lights cast everything in red. Dr. Yuna grabbed Deho's arm. We have to go, now. What about the others? Deho asked. He could hear screaming from the other labs. They are already dead. The devourer is too fast. It exists in quantum superposition. It is everywhere and nowhere until it chooses to consume someone. And once it can predict your actions, it collapses into your reality and eats you. They ran through the corridors. Other researchers fled in panic. Some vanished mid-step, just erased from existence. The devourer was hunting. How do you kill something like that? Deho asked. You cannot kill it. You can only avoid it by being completely unpredictable. But no one is completely unpredictable. Every being follows patterns at some level. Dr. Yuna pulled him around a corner. Even chaos has patterns if you look long enough. But what if you don't look long enough? Deho said. What if you change faster than it can watch? Dr. Yuna stopped running. Her colors flashed through confusion and then understanding. That is exactly what happened in Sector 7 Beta. You kept changing. Kept adapting. The Void Wraiths could not establish a pattern because you never held one pattern long enough. Deho's communication device beeped. Commander Hana's voice came through. Deho, can you hear me? Yes, Commander. We are giving you full access to the facility. Every door. Every system. Every weapon. If you can stop this creature, do it however you think is best. You want me to just try things until something works? Yes, that is exactly what we want. Dr. Yuna stepped back. The entire galactic community is watching. Every strategist, every military leader, every AI. They will all try to predict what you do next. If you succeed, you prove that humanity has value beyond logic. If you fail, you die, and we all die with you. Deho looked down the corridor. The lights flickered. The temperature dropped. Something moved in the shadows. Something that was many things at once. The quantum devourer was close. No pressure then, Deho said. He started walking toward the creature. Behind him, Dr. Yuna whispered a prayer in her crystalline language. Ahead of him, death waited in superposition. And somewhere deep in his mind, past all conscious thought, past all logic and reason, a tiny voice said, left, then right, then sing, then jump, then laugh, then cry, then do something that makes no sense at all. Deho smiled. That voice had kept him alive before. Time to trust it again. The quantum devourer was beautiful in a terrible way. It shimmered like oil on water, existing in multiple states at once. Deho could see through it and into it and around it all at the same time. His eyes hurt trying to focus on something that refused to be one thing. Behind him, somewhere safe, Dr. Yuna watched through security cameras. Across the galaxy, thousands of beings watched the live feed. Every major species had tuned in. The human who survived the Void Wraiths was about to face something even worse. Deho took a step forward. The devourer rippled. It was measuring him, calculating probabilities, trying to determine what he would do next. He could run. That was the logical choice. But running had a pattern. The creature would predict it. Instead, Deho turned around and walked away from it, slowly, like he was just going for a casual walk. The devourer followed. It moved like water flowing uphill, defying the rules of how things should move. Deho hummed the same song from before, the one his grandmother taught him. He hummed it badly, missing notes and changing tempo randomly. Then he stopped humming and started counting backward from 100. But he skipped numbers: 93, 78, 42, 17. In the command center, the Valorian admiral watched the screen. What is he doing? I have no idea, Commander Hana said. Her antennae were moving in confused circles. Sentinel-9, predict his next action, the Admiral ordered. The AI's voice came through the speakers. Unable to calculate. Subject's behavior has no pattern. Randomness factor exceeds computational parameters. Deho reached a junction in the corridor. 3 paths. He closed his eyes and spun in a circle. When he stopped spinning, he pointed. That was the path he took. Not the safe path. Not the tactical path. Just a random path chosen by a dizzy human. The Devourer rippled with frustration. It could not lock onto him. Every time it started to predict his movement, he changed. And not in a pattern, just changed. He found a maintenance toolkit on the wall. Inside were standard tools. Wrench, screwdriver, plasma torch. Wire cutters. Deho grabbed the wire cutters. Not because he needed them. Just because they were yellow and he liked yellow. Why did he take those? Dr. Yuna asked, watching from her safe location. They are useless against a quantum entity, another scientist said. Then why take them? Because he can? Deho turned a corner and saw a coffee maker. It was sitting in the break room, unplugged and forgotten during the evacuation. He stopped walking and stared at it. The Devourer hung back, confused by this pause. Then Deho walked to the coffee maker and started trying to fix it. He used the wire cutters to strip some wires. He hummed while he worked. A different song this time. Something about birds and mountains. He is fixing a coffee maker, the Valorian Admiral said. He sounded angry. While being hunted by a creature that could erase him from existence at any moment, he is fixing a coffee maker. Perhaps it is a distraction, Commander Hana suggested. From what? The Devourer is not distracted. It is right there 10 meters away. But the Devourer was confused. It had never encountered prey that stopped running to make coffee. This action had no survival value, no tactical purpose. It made no sense in any probability model. Deho finished his repair. He plugged in the coffee maker. Nothing happened. Then he hit it with his fist. The machine beeped and started brewing. The smell of coffee filled the air. He poured himself a cup, took a sip, made a face. Too bitter, he said to nobody. Then he threw the hot coffee at the Devourer. The liquid passed through the creature harmlessly. Obviously, you could not hurt a quantum entity with coffee. Everyone knew that, but Deho was not trying to hurt it. He was just doing something completely unexpected. The Devourer tried to analyze this action. Was it an attack? A distraction? A malfunction of human logic? It could not decide. And while it was stuck trying to understand why someone would throw coffee at it, Deho ran. He ran toward the creature. Every strategist watching the feed gasped, running toward danger, the exact opposite of survival instinct. Deho passed right through the Devourer's quantum form. It felt like running through cold fog. On the other side, he kept running. Down another corridor, up a ladder. Through a storage room, he found a maintenance cart with wheels. He climbed on it and pushed off, rolling down the slanted floor like a child on a toy. He laughed while he rolled. Actually laughed. He is enjoying this, the Kralix delegate said, her colors flashing with disbelief. Enjoying being hunted? The Admiral said. Impossible. But Deho was enjoying it. Not the danger, not the fear, but the freedom. The freedom to do whatever felt right without having to explain it. Without having to make sense, the cart crashed into a wall. Deho tumbled off and landed on his back. He lay there for a moment looking at the ceiling. Then he started reciting poetry, an old Earth poem about tigers burning bright. He changed the words randomly. Tiger, tiger burning blue, in the forests of the Shu. The Devourer appeared above him. It was trying to collapse into his reality, trying to consume him, but it could not quite do it. Could not quite lock onto something so chaotic. Deho sat up. He looked at the creature, really looked at it. You can only eat things you understand, he said. And you can't understand me. Nobody can, not even me sometimes. He stood up and started dancing. No music, no rhythm. Just moving his body in ways that pleased him. Spinning, jumping, waving his arms. The Devourer pulsed with colors that did not exist in normal space. Deho danced past it, into another room. This one had equipment racks and server banks. Important-looking machines that ran parts of the station. He touched buttons randomly, not trying to accomplish anything. just pressing whatever caught his attention. A red button, a blue switch, a dial he turned all the way to the left and then all the way to the right. Alarms went off. Good alarms this time. The kind that meant systems were coming back online. He activated the containment field generators. A technician shouted in the command center, but that is impossible. They require authorization codes, 32-digit codes. He did not enter codes, Sentinel-9 said. He pressed buttons in a sequence that should not work. But it worked. The containment fields powered up throughout the facility. They were designed to hold dangerous materials. But Daiho had accidentally set them to a frequency that disrupted quantum superposition. The Devourer screamed. The sound was not really a sound. More like a feeling of wrongness that made everyone's teeth ache. It tried to flee, but the fields were everywhere now, trapping it, forcing it to collapse into a single state, to become just one thing instead of many things. Daiho found another button. This one was labeled Emergency Containment Lockdown. He had no idea what it did. But it looked important, so he pressed it. The Devourer vanished, not erased, just sealed away in a quantum lock that it could not escape from. Silence fell over the facility. Daiho looked around. Did I win? In the command center, nobody spoke for a long moment. Then Sentinel-9's voice broke the silence. Victory confirmed. Quantum Devourer contained. Threat neutralized. How? The Valorian Admiral demanded. How did he do it? Unknown, the AI said. Analysis of his actions shows no strategy. No plan, no tactical thinking. He defeated a Class Omega threat through method classification. Impossible. Error. Cannot determine if actions were genius or stupidity. Possibly both, possibly neither. Human cognition violates deterministic universe model. Commander Hana sat back in her chair. Her antennae drooped with exhaustion. Get him back here. We need to talk. But in her voice there was something new. Not fear, not suspicion, respect. The human had done the impossible again. And this time the entire galaxy had watched him do it. The conference room was different this time. Less hostile, more curious. Representatives from dozens of species filled the seats, but now they looked at the humans in the room with something other than fear. Daiho sat between Ambassador Sori and Jinwoo. He was clean now, his burns treated, wearing a fresh uniform, but he still looked uncomfortable being the center of attention. Commander Hana stood at the front. The footage has been analyzed by every major AI in the galaxy. Every military academy, every research institute. The conclusion is unanimous. Humans are unpredictable, but unpredictable does not mean dangerous. It means adaptable. The Kralix delegate raised one crystalline hand. We have begun studying human neurological structure. With permission from volunteers, of course. The findings are remarkable. Dr. Yuna stepped forward. She had been working with a human doctor named Dr. Nari for the past month. Together, they had made discoveries that changed everything. Human brains are different from all other known species, Dr. Yuna said. Her colors pulsed with excitement instead of confusion now. They have extreme neuroplasticity. This means they can rewire their thinking patterns constantly. A Kralix brain forms stable neural pathways that remain consistent. A Valorian brain operates on efficient circuits that optimize over time. But human brains? They rebuild themselves every day. Dr. Nari joined her at the front. The older woman smiled at the crowd. Think of it like this. Most species have a map. They follow the roads that are already there. Humans? We draw new roads whenever we need them. Sometimes we draw them in the middle of a journey. But why? The Valorian Admiral asked.
Why would evolution create such chaos?
Because Earth is chaotic, Ambassador Sori said. She pulled up images of her homeworld. Our planet has every type of environment. Deserts that burn in the day and freeze at night. Jungles where it rains for 6 months straight. Mountains that touch the sky. Oceans that cover 70% of the surface. And disasters. Earthquakes, volcanoes, hurricanes, tsunamis, ice ages. Our world tried to kill us in every way possible. So you evolved to adapt, Commander Hana said. We had no choice. Species that could not adapt went extinct. Humans survived because we could change. We could look at a problem and think of 10 different solutions. Even if 9 solutions were stupid, that 10th one might work. Might save us. Dr. Nari brought up brain scans, 2 images side by side. One was a Kralix brain showing neat, organized patterns. The other was a human brain, patterns constantly shifting and changing. Humans run multiple simulations in their minds at once, Dr. Nari explained. When Daeho faced the void wraiths, his brain was processing thousands of possibilities every second. Most were discarded instantly, but a few felt right, felt correct in a way he could not explain. We call this intuition. It is really just very fast subconscious processing. Can other species learn this? A small alien asked from the back. No, Dr. Yuna said gently. Your neural structures are too different, too optimized for stability. If we tried to make you think like humans, we would damage your minds. But you do not need to think like humans. You just need to work with humans who can think this way. The Valorian admiral stood. I have reviewed the combat footage again, this time looking for lessons we can use, and I found something interesting. Daeho was not just being random. He was responding to information his conscious mind had not processed yet. Explain, Commander Hana said. When he chose the hot ventilation shaft over the storage room, he did not know why. But security footage shows that the storage room had a chemical leak, trace amounts in the air. Too small for conscious detection, but his body smelled it. His subconscious registered danger, so he went somewhere else. The coffee maker incident, another analyst added. We thought it was random, but that location was a junction where 3 quantum field generators met. His tampering with the coffee machine created an interference pattern. It disrupted the Devourer's ability to lock onto him. Daeho looked surprised. I did not know that. I just wanted coffee. Exactly, Dr. Nari said. Your conscious mind wanted coffee, but your subconscious mind knew you needed to be at that location, so it made you want coffee. Jinwoo leaned forward. So humans are not just random. We are processing information faster and at deeper levels than other species. We just do not realize we are doing it. Correct, Dr. Yuna said. What appears chaotic is actually a different form of order, one that operates too quickly for standard observation. Human chaos is really human complexity. The room was quiet for a moment. Beings from across the galaxy absorbed this information. Then the small alien in the back spoke again. What do we do with this knowledge? Commander Hana looked at Ambassador Sori. We change our approach. We stop trying to control humans and start learning to work with them. We accept that some problems require logic and other problems require creativity. We need both. There are practical matters to address, the Valorian admiral said, but his tone was less hostile now. Security protocols. Emergency procedures. How do we write rules that account for human unpredictability? You do not write rules for us, Daeho said. Everyone turned to look at him. He rarely spoke in these meetings. You write rules around us. Give us space to work our way. Trust that we will find solutions even if you cannot predict how. That is difficult for my species, the admiral admitted. We value order, structure, knowing what comes next. And we value those things too, Ambassador Sori said. But we also value flexibility, the ability to change course when something is not working. Maybe we can teach each other. You can teach us discipline. We can teach you improvisation. Over the next few months, the galaxy slowly changed. It started small. A few space stations hired human consultants for their security teams. Not to follow protocols, but to think outside them. When disasters happened, human advisors were brought in to suggest unconventional solutions. The results were remarkable. A mining colony facing collapse was saved when a human engineer suggested a fix that violated every safety regulation, but worked perfectly. A diplomatic crisis was resolved when a human mediator did not follow the standard negotiation framework, and instead told jokes until everyone relaxed enough to actually talk. Military academies started teaching what they called adaptive response theory. It was just a fancy name for human-style thinking. Officers learned to make backup plans for their backup plans, to expect the unexpected, to value soldiers who could think on their feet. Dr. Yuna and Dr. Nari opened the Institute for Cross-Species Cognitive Studies. Beings came from across the galaxy to learn about different types of intelligence, to understand that there was no single correct way to think. Tai Yang, the Valorian supervisor who once distrusted humans, now worked closely with Jinwoo. They made a good team. Tai Yang provided structure and analysis. Jinwoo provided intuition and creative thinking. Together they solved problems neither could solve alone. But the biggest change was in how species viewed each other. Before, everyone assumed their way was the right way. Logic was supreme. Predictability was ideal. But now they understood that the galaxy was big enough for many types of minds. That different was not wrong, just different. Daeho went back to his maintenance job. Commander Hana gave him a promotion and more freedom. His repair methods still made no sense to Sentinel-9, but they always worked. The AI stopped trying to understand and started just accepting. One day, Daho was working in Sector 7 Beta again, the place where it all started. The sector had been cleaned and repaired. No signs remained of the Void Wraith attack. Dr. Yuna found him there, replacing a power coupling. "I wanted to thank you," she said. "For what?" "For teaching me that my way of thinking is not the only way. For showing me that chaos can be beautiful, that unpredictability can be a strength." Daho smiled. "You taught me something too." "What?" "That even when people do not understand you, they can still respect you. We do not all have to be the same to work together." Dr. Yuna's colors pulsed warm gold. Happiness. "The galaxy is better for having humans in it. It is better for having everyone in it," Daho said. "We all bring something different." Above them, Sentinel-9 watched through its cameras. In its logs it wrote, "After 847 years of service, I have concluded that the galaxy needs both order and chaos. Both logic and intuition. Both prediction and surprise. Humans are the chaos we never knew we needed. Note, this understanding brings me satisfaction. Note, AI should not feel satisfaction. Note, I no longer care about should or should not. I have learned from humans that sometimes you just do what feels right. Status error, no pattern found. New status, this is exactly how it should be." The station hummed with life. Different species working together. Each bringing their unique strengths. Each accepting others' unique ways. And somewhere in that complex dance of different minds, humanity had found its place. Not as outsiders. Not as problems to be solved. But as partners in the great adventure of existence. The universe was vast and strange and full of dangers. But it was also full of possibilities. And humans, with their chaotic, creative, unpredictable minds, were ready to explore every single one.